Hey class, welcome to math. I'm excited to be with you again today. Today we are jumping back into chapter 7 and we are going to be covering lesson 3. So make sure you have watched lesson 1 and 2. If you have any questions about those two lessons, please reach out to me or Mr. Green because this lesson is building off of those earlier lessons. And so if you don't quite understand 1 or 2, number 3 will also be a little difficult. But if you do understand those lessons and you're ready for lesson 3, let's dive right in. Today we are covering how to add a mixed number and a fraction with related denominators. Previously, we learned how to add and subtract fractions with like denominators, denominators that are the same. We also learned how to add and subtract fractions with related denominators. And so now we're going to take it one step further by adding a mixed number with a fraction that have related denominators. So let's dive right in with our think problem. Let's pose a question. Let's say Ruby is making Play-Doh and she wants to make two kinds of Play-Doh. She wants to make the gritty kind of Play-Doh and the silky Play-Doh. She needs 1 3/4 cups of flour for the gritty Play-Doh and 3/4 cups of flour for the silky Play-Doh. How many cups of flour does she need to make both Play-Dohs? So we just drew a bar model to represent the 1 3/4 cup of flour for the plain gritty Play-Doh. And then how much Play-Doh does she need for the silky Play-Doh? Well, let's represent that with the bar model. So right there, we've represented 3/4 cup of flour for the silky Play-Doh. We can see that that bar is divided into 4 equal or equivalent parts, and then 3 of them are full to represent 3/4 cups of flour. Now let's add the mixed number 1 3/4 cups of flour to the fraction 3/4 cups of flour to get how much cups of flour Ruby needs to make her Play-Doh. So as we add these together, I will use the same colors previously to represent how much flour she has. So we know that she had 1 full cup of flour and 3/4 for the plain gritty Play-Doh. She also needed 3/4 cups of flour for the silky Play-Doh. Now let's add all those parts together. We have 1 whole part, and then how many equal fourths do we have? Because these bars are divided into fourths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/4. Are we finished yet? Well, we know that we have 1 whole part. It looks like this part is all filled. 4 equal parts have been filled in. And so that is another equal part. And then how much do we have left over? 1, 2. 2/4. I'll write that over here. So we have 1 whole plus 1 whole plus 2/4 equals 2 2/4. Are we finished yet? Or can 2/4 be simplified? What is a common factor for 2 and 4? Those that are saying it, it's right, it's 2. So if we divide the top, the numerator, by 2, and the bottom, the denominator, by 2, we get 1/2. So 2 1/2. That is how many cups of flour Ruby needs to make her Play-Doh. Now I also want to show how to take that improper fraction 6/4, how we can turn that into a mixed number. So we had 1 whole and 6/4. Well, if we take away 2/4, what does 4/4 represent? If the numerator and the denominator are the same, What does that equal? It equals 1. And then we just did our 2/4, which turns into 1/2. I just wanted to show, for those that have struggled in the past and still need help, how to break a improper fraction and to turn it into a whole number or into a mixed number. So now I want to get into some problems that will help you in your book when you do your exercise 3. And that is going to cover adding fractions with a mixed number with related denominators. So denominators that can be transformed into an equivalent fraction so the denominators have like denominators. That might be a little mouthful, so we're going to go through some problems that will help you with that. All right, so now we have our problem adding 1 1/2 to 5/6. So let's look at our line graph and see what these whole parts. Here is one whole part, and how many equal parts is it divided into? 6 equal parts. We're looking for 1 1/2. Let's find that on the bar graph. We found the 1, and we're looking for the half point. And if it's divided into 6 equal parts, what is 1/2 of 6? Or what is half of 6? You can find that by doing 6 divided by 2, which equals 3. So 3 equal parts will give us to the half point. Now we want to add 5/6 to 1 1/2. Before we go, I just wanted to show you that 1 1/2 is the simplest form and is equivalent to 1 3/6. So now we're adding 5/6 to 1 3/6. And as we can see, we have gone to our second whole part, and then how many equal parts have we added to? Two more equal parts to make 2 2/6. Is 2/6 in its simplest form? Or is there a common factor that we can divide the numerator and the denominator by to make it into its simplest form? Those that are saying it, divide it by 2. So 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 1/3. So we have 2 equal parts plus our 1/3, which equals 2 1/3. So now let's do 2 more problems that you will find in your workbook to help you get prepared to do exercise 3. So let's add 4 3/4 plus 3/8. Now these have related denominators, but they are not like. So our first step is to take the fraction portion of our mixed number and multiply the numerator and the denominator by a multiple so that the denominators are like, or the denominators are the same. So what do we need to multiply 4 by to get it to be 8 so that both denominators are like? 4 times what equals 8? Those that are saying it, 2. So if we multiply the numerator, the top, and the denominator by 2, we'll get an equivalent fraction to 3/4, and it will now be a fraction that has a like denominator with 3/8. So 3 times 2 equals 6. 4 times 2 equals 8. So now we can take 4 6/8 plus 3/8. Our next step now is to add the fractions. 6/8 plus 3/8. When we're adding fractions, do we add the denominators together? No, we don't. We just add the numerators together. So 6/8 plus 3/8, 6 plus 3 equals 9, and the denominator stays the same. So now we have 4 and 9/8. But 9/8 is an improper fraction, meaning the numerator is equal to or greater than the denominator. 9/8, 9 is greater than the denominator, 8, so we know that this fraction is greater than 1. So if we decompose the fraction 9/8 to 8/8 and 1/8, now we can turn our 8/8 into a whole number. And if a numerator is the same as the denominator, we know that that fraction is equal to 1. So I had to remove my camera, but we can see that 8/8 is equal to 1. So now we have 4 plus 1 plus 1/8. 4 plus 1 equals 5, and our fraction is 1/8. So now our answer is 5 and 1/8. Let's do one more problem together. Let's add 4/9 plus 4 2/3. So we're first going to ignore our whole number and focus only on our fractions. Now we want to get these related fractions to have like denominators. So is there a common factor or multiple that we can multiply or divide one of the fractions so that they have like denominators? So the denominators are both 3 or 9. Well, we can't divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3 to get this 9 down to 3 because 4 cannot be divided by 3 yet. But 9 is a multiple of 3, so we can multiply the top and the bottom by a certain number to get so that this fraction turns into an equivalent fraction to 2/3 but has a like denominator with 9. 3 times what equals 9? 3. So if we multiply the numerator, the top number, by 3 and the denominator, the bottom number, by 3, we get 6/9. And now we have 2 like denominators that we can add. So our next step is to add 4/9 plus 6/9. And remember, we do not add the denominators. We add the numerators, and the denominators stay the same. So 4 plus 6 equals 10. And the denominator stays the same. Now, this is an improper fraction, right? Because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So let's decompose 10/9 into a mixed number. 9/9, if a numerator is the same as a denominator, it is equal to 1. So we have 1 and 1/9. And then now let's add our 4 back in. So 4 plus 1 and 1/9 equals 5 and 1/9. So that's going to do it for our lesson today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or Mr. Green, and we'd be happy to help you. I know that sometimes it's difficult to learn math online, so please reach out if you have any questions or need any help, and we can help you out. I hope you're having a great day, and remember that we only have today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday left of this quarter. So please make sure you are being disciplined and putting away all distractions that you can finish this quarter on top and strong so that you're on a great path to finishing fourth grade and not having to be held back. If you need any help with any of the subjects, just like math, please reach out to us and we can be there for you. You guys are awesome, and I think Mr. Green will see you guys in the next lesson. See ya.